Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey. I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in the room. How y'all doing? Hey, how are you? So, I know it's been a minute since I've been on live. Been doing a lot of things. I took a break to do a lot with my organization. You said I'm good. That's good. I'm glad you're good. So everybody going through stuff, so I'm glad to hear that you're good. But yes, I am back with the lives, with the conversations, and then this conversation is a dating conversation. Are people dating for value, or are they dating for fantasy? So what I have noticed is that everybody's looking for love right about now. There's so many people that's been in and out of relationships within the last year, and people are falling in love with the idea of being with people versus the value of being with people, but yet they're talking about they want to get married. So I kind of find that interesting, and I wanted to get people's opinions on what's really going on out here. So I put up my post earlier that had Rihanna and A$AP Rocky versus Mariah and Nick Cannon. And the reason why I said versus is because looking at the timeline, that A$AP Rocky and Rihanna have been friends for a little minute before they started dating. It's probably been about 7 years or so. Versus Mariah Carey and Nick met, they started dating and got married all in the same year and had kids a couple years later. And Nick Cannon said that he's always wanted to be with her. Like, he pretty much fantasized about being with her, but once he got with her, he wasn't really ready for all that she came with, because he was really thinking about the idea of being with her versus the person. So I kind of wanted to dive into that conversation. I'm going to wait till a few more people come in, and then we're going to get started. Let me look at this. Hello. So we're going to get started. Okay, so I previously had dating conversations. Those conversations are actually on my YouTube channel, Crown Convos with Tiana and Michelle. Go over, look at the videos, subscribe, and share. I actually was supposed to be going live on YouTube, but my computer was doing some freezing, so I just said, let's just ignite and go back to the YouTube. So yeah, I'm on YouTube. I mean, on Instagram instead of YouTube tonight. We gonna make sure everything working properly for next week. But previously, I talked about dating. Dating your best friend. I talked about a whole lot of different things where, you know, marriage, and I talked about mental health, and I talked about teen parent conversations, and it's a whole lot of different topics. But Crown Convos, our conversations, community conversations, just about life, about things that are going on within our community, bringing awareness to certain issues, and actually having the conversations that a lot of people are having behind closed doors. So that is the purpose of these conversations. What is going on? Why does this feel like it's freezing? Okay. I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But anyway. So, I've talked about a lot of different things. Probably just about sex, about just a lot of different things. So just go on to YouTube, my YouTube channel, Crown Convos with Tiana and Michelle, and look at those past conversations. And like I said, like, share and subscribe. Even on this live, share this with your best friend. You know, come on in, let's have the conversation. You can comment below. And yes, we're gonna get right into it, honey. So what I've noticed is that there are a lot of people that are dating. Like, we've been in the middle of a pandemic. We was on lockdown, you know, and now the streets are wide open. So people are going on dates. They on these apps, meeting people. Somebody was telling me about Bumble or something. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but y'all can correct me. But it's like the rise in dating apps, and people are really like out here on these apps, on Facebook, and inboxes and DMs and all this kind of stuff. But what I find is people are falling in love with what people are posting versus who the person really is, right? So if I post a video, that video is like 15 seconds, maybe 30 at most, you know, and it's not the whole me. Like, it's not the whole person. It's not a video that shows the instant out of me. You just seeing a clip. So in seeing that clip, you know, somebody can be like, oh, you know, I think I want to get to know her or whatever. But they're not, you know, wanting to get to know me based off of the personality. I mean, some do. I'm not going to say they don't. But I'm just saying that people judge who they want to get to know based off of 15 seconds of a video. Even pictures, like these Instagram models and how they're posting their pictures and all these different things, and these men are like head over heels, but then you wonder why they wind up single again. So there's something that's going on where I think that a lot of people are falling in love with the idea of being with someone versus the person. And I would think after we've been, you know, on lockdown, you will want to take the time to actually get to know a person, because you haven't been around another human being besides the people that was in your house during that time. So I would think that people would want to actually get to know somebody versus just like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go see, and then, you know, I like how they look, and that's and I'm gonna get with them, and tomorrow it's over. Like, I don't know why that is. It was a thing before, but not like it is now. Like, I feel like there's so much superficial stuff going on because of social media. And then people are going and getting their bodies done based off of, and I did a video about that too, going and getting their bodies done based on whatever society is telling them to do, or trying to get in a gym to look a certain way. It's fine to do it for your health, but if you're doing it for another human being, that's a problem. But back to the dating part. So when you are dating for value means really getting to know the person, almost how it was old school. Like, you meet somebody and you're like, okay, they seem like somebody I like to get to know. You go on a date with them, you find out about the person, you actually have a conversation. That's the other thing, people are not really having conversations. So you have a conversation with them to see if you all, you know, are compatible. And then it turns into maybe several conversations where you all are like getting to know each other. You're actually going out on dates, interacting, engaging. And then it turns into what? After that, probably a relationship. But because after a few dates, you probably, back then, you knew that you didn't want to be bothered with a person, you were done. But, you know, that type of thing. And if it turned into a relationship, then, you know, you all were spending time together, and the goal was, back in the day, marriage. And so people were actually putting the effort in to show that they value the person. Like, men were actually trying to impress women. Women were actually trying to impress men. You know, the old school way of hello, of dating, you know, was buying flowers for the woman. You know, when you take her out, opening the door, you know, the car door, letting her get in the car, closing the door behind her. You know, you all go to maybe a restaurant, maybe to the movies. He pays for the whatever the date is, and then you all, you know, spend time talking and all of that kind of stuff, getting to really know one another. It was old fashioned, but it worked. It really worked, because a lot of people were getting married, and they were getting married for because they saw value in that person, not just because I'm in love with the idea of a person. They actually saw value. This is the person that I want to spend my life with. Or hello, this is a person that I can see myself with, having a family with. They were dating for a purpose, and they saw the value in that person. Nowadays, you know, people are really acting like other people are disposable. So when they see the idea of that person, like, they fall in love with that fantasy, whatever that dream is that they come up with the whatever they're posting, the picture that they post, and they look cute with their butt out or something, or he look good with his muscles, showing he flexing in the gym, he fine, people are falling in love with that, with the idea. And then they talk to the guy, or, slide in the inbox, a DM, go out on a couple of dates. Girl, he weird. Oh, he doing too much, or she doing too much. She wanna see me all the time. He wanna, see me all the time. People are thirsty now. I don't know where this word came from. Where do we get that from? People that are actually trying to show interest are now thirsty. This world is so backwards. I find that to be really weird, that that's a thing that people are saying. What the old school way is somebody acting thirsty rather than them showing interest. And I feel like people really need to show genuine interest, if more people took the time to slow down and actually get to know a person, I think relationships would be better off. But let's look at this example of Rihanna. And nobody's even talking about the fact that Rihanna dated down. And when I say date down, I'm going based off of her income. So Rihanna, is dating, or married. They claim that they're married. Like, people are saying that they're married to A$AP Rocky. And according to what I've read, they were friends for 7 years. And so he had time to really, like, get to know her, time to spend with her, to see the raw her, versus the fantasy. And if you think about Rihanna's dating history, she wasn't with people long. Like, whoever she was dating, it wasn't a lengthy relationship. They probably was in love with the idea that she was who she was, and not really the person that she was, because she's not a one-dimensional person. So to be in love with somebody like that, you would have to understand that, people are not one-dimensional. You would have to be understanding of the person that they are, just like they would have to be understanding of the person that you are. So when I look at them, they both a little strange, but it works for them, right? So we'll see how long they last, but it almost is like she found her person. Even when I was looking at April and Taye Diggs, and at first I didn't think they were together. I thought that they were, working on a project or something, but it appears that they are together. And a lot of people were like, oh, she been out here, she for the streets, and all this different kind of stuff, and it's not gonna work. And I'm looking like, I feel like she met her person, because if you look, like, even though it is, the clips that we see are short clips of April and Taye Diggs, but when you look at the joy that's on her face, it tells a lot. It actually tells a lot. And they both goofy. And she found a person that she could be silly with. Because if you followed her in the past, she wasn't silly, goofy on videos. Like, that she tried to, I feel like, be somebody that she wasn't. And when you're not with the right person that actually said April still for the streets, we gonna see how this goes, though. I think that they met their match. Like, they found who they supposed to be with, because both of them seem genuinely happy. And this is probably the happiest that I've seen her in ever. Like, even when she was dating Omarion, she did not look super happy. Like, she was posing for the pictures, but she found a babysitter. I do not agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that sometimes you gotta kiss a couple ugly ducklings, a couple, ugly frogs, in order to get your prince, or in order to get your princess. You gotta get a few uglies, a couple things wrong before you get it right. And then when you found your person, you like, I can be me. I can be free to be me. And that's what I think has happened. Even with Rihanna, like, the way that she's dressing is not how she was dressing before. Even when she's with him, it's almost like she doesn't have to be the person that she puts on for the world. She's herself. Like, so I'm saying that right now it looks like it's working for them. It looks like these people actually value one another, versus when you look at on the flip side, when you look at Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey situation, I look at that like he was fantasizing about that woman for a long time, and their relationship happened so quickly. When I looked at their history, they met each other like 3 years prior to dating. They dated for less than a year, a few months actually, and then got married. Literally, like 4 months they was married. And then had kids like 3 years later. And then it was done. Like, it's so weird. It's so I feel like he fell in love with the idea of being with her. He put her on a pedestal, and it's dangerous when you put people on a pedestal and you put them so far on a pedestal that when they do normal stuff, it seems weird to you because you're not expecting them to be normal because you've placed them on such a high pedestal. And I think people need to stop doing that. And then everything they want it so quickly. Nobody's working at anything, and if it doesn't give instant gratification, then people toss it out. And that's not how relationships work. Like, people are saying, what did he say? Nick is a beast in the business world, but seems shy. He does, but I feel like he falls in love with the idea of being with people, because look at how he's moving in these dating streets. Like, he is out here replacing them. He chased them and replaced them and have babies with them. Like, his is a little dangerous, because I'm like, how you having babies with everybody you dating? That's the definition of for the streets. I don't care how much of a beast he is in business. He is really for the streets, because, and then he made a statement that he doesn't, he's grossed out by fluid, but yeah, that's why he wears like 2 condoms or something crazy, he said. And I'm like, you couldn't, because you got like a tribe of kids. So it don't make sense to me. I'm like, he made that all the way up, because it just does not make sense. Like, it don't make logical sense. But whatever story you want to spin. But at the end of the day, you say he's just providing harvest to the world. That's too much. That's too much. Too many seeds everywhere, and too many wombs. That's nasty. Honestly, that's just straight nasty. Ain't nothing else to say about that. He for the streets. But I feel like he just fall in love with a person for a short period of time, and once he's fulfilled whatever desire he's fulfilled, he's done. Like, he's done with them, and he has no use for them besides them being the mother of his kid. If they, decide to be pregnant, or whatever their agreement is, I don't even know. But what are you saying? He's a bag of sunflower seeds, really? Anyway, he needs to stop spreading them seeds everywhere. I'm like, he probably done contracted something with, you can't keep going from person to person like that. How many kids he got? Like 10 kids? Is it 10? Is it what? I don't know. He gotta meet his quota, whatever. He needs to stop. But he's he's a prime example of falling in love with a fantasy of people. Like, he is a major example of that. And there are a lot of guys doing that, and there are women doing that. I don't know a whole lot of women that's doing that. But I know that there are a lot of guys doing that, because a lot of women are posting like pictures, provocative pictures, and all of this kind of stuff. And so men are visual creatures. So whatever they see, they be like, ooh. And so now they grab hold to that, and now in their mind they like, ooh, I would love to be with that person. I would love to see how that goes. She got a banging body. But then if he decides to slide in the girl's DM, and I've even seen where, even on different dating shows, that every now and then I indulge to see what's going on, to see how people are doing what they do. But like, it was this one show where the girl goes out on a date with this guy. Like, she look good. He look good. They go out and then find out they had nothing to talk about. They're sitting at the date, birds chirping, nothing. They didn't even really try to start a conversation. But then she came with the once mystery phase, people lose interest, that part. And I'm like, why is that? I don't know. I just feel like people just want something instantaneously. But she started asking him questions, and it was like a questionnaire. Like, she like, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? What goals do you have? Like, first date. Like, she ain't even say like, okay, what are you interested in? Like, what you like to do? Like, okay, do you like to play ball? Like, show me what you like to do. A lot of people are like jumping to the serious questions on the first date. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are women doing? Because a lot of women are doing this. It's like first date because they have in their mind what they want. They are gunning for, okay, let's just get all of the logistics out the way. Let's just straight shoot or whatever. And it doesn't give time to enjoy the experience of that first date. Like, there's an experience that's supposed to happen, like a natural experience that people just bypass, and a lot of women do that. I've noticed that. And I'm like, you cannot already be, so when do you want to get married, and when do you want to have babies? And I'm like, those are not first date questions. Like, those are not what you ask on the first date. I feel like those are after we went out a couple times and you trying to get a vibe for what he's thinking, or, you know, what are your views on, settling down, and word it like that after a few dates, not the first date. Or where do you see yourself in, a few years or whatever. Like, you can ask those questions, but not like you speed dating and it's a test. Like, I feel like people are not slowing down to experience the relationship. People are caught up in themselves. I think that's really what's happening. Because when you talk about valuing a person, you're talking about everything that comes with that person. So the ins and the outs of the person. And what did you say? People like you for sex, and then get to know you, and it's backwards. Yeah, I would agree with that. I just think that if you're wanting to get married and you're wanting to be in a committed relationship, because people are saying they want to get married, but how do you get from dating to marriage on a fast track? Like, you can't fast track that where it's 4 months, like how Nick Cannon and Mariah did. Four months of dating and they already married. When did y'all get the time to get to know one another? But there's people that's doing that. They're getting married after a couple months or whatever. And it's fine if you were friends. Now, if you were friends for a long time or whatever the case may be, I do understand that. But when you have not been friends, you just meet a person, and you decide that you're going to jump up and get married, I think that something's missing. I think that people need to revisit the reason why they doing it. You said people get married for the thought. They love the ceremony more than each other. That is very true. And that reminds me of these Black Love pages. Now I follow Black Love. There are a few Black Love pages on Instagram, and they highlight like weddings and babies and all of these different like married clips and vacations and all this different stuff, right? Some people see that and they like, oh, I need that, or oh, I wanna experience that. I'm gonna tell my guy to take me, you know, whatever, or let's have a wedding like this because they did it, or I need a proposal like this because they did it. So you're able to actually see all of these different things, and everybody has become more visual in this day and age because of all of the images and pages that they're seeing that's doing all of this stuff. And then then they are fall in love with the idea of being married, but they haven't fallen in love with the person and enough to value the person in order for the marriage to flourish. They're not allowing themselves to even get to that point where you fall in love with a person for who they truly are. Some do because they can't take care of themselves, and some do it for fear of being lonely. I mean, those are legitimate. Well, the can't take care of yourself part. If you can't take care of yourself, here's the thing. We don't live in a day and time where one salary just can take care of the whole household, unless, you know, you marrying a millionaire, billionaire. Like, we don't live in a day and time. Hey, gas prices is too high, like $5. The cost of a house is high. Everything is high. Food is high. Everything. So we don't live in a day and time where you can not take care of yourself and then expect somebody to take care of you. Like, that's not how that works. Relationships should be reciprocated. And I don't understand where it's a lot of women that think like that. Like, I want a man to take care of me. And I'm like, who can afford this? Like, if you can't afford to take care of yourself, then you don't need nobody to. Like, you gotta figure out how to take care of you, because here's the thing. If you get married to this person, things happen in a marriage. What if he loses his job? How are you showing that you're self-sufficient to take care of the family if something happens to that man? Y'all gonna be an ABC cardboard box fooling around with you. Like, no. How do you think that anything... How are you expecting something that you can't even do? That's... I don't get it. I don't understand that. If you can't take care of yourself, and every man that you date has to be a paycheck for you. You're going out here, you are asking them for money at every turn. You are, they're depositing checks into your pocket or whatever, sending you cash app payments or whatever, so you can fund your whole life. At what point do you say to yourself, I need to take care of me? Like, this is not what's up. But it's a part of being selfish. You said they listen to a lot of misinformed social media people. We live in a time of followers. Many people don't make choices based on their own feelings. That is so true. It's almost like people don't even have a brain. Social media has really taken over. Like, people not even thinking for themselves. So I don't know what. I feel like social media has really done a number on the human familiar relationship. whether it is a marriage, whether it is a dating relationship, nobody is taking the time to actually nurture relationships. If it don't work, or if somebody piss you off, you just out. And it's just like, that ain't how that work. You're not supposed to be cutting people off because you just wake up in the morning like, you made me mad last night, so it's over. Like, what is that? You said marriage is now painted in the mind, just a thing to do. It is. It really is. And I'm like, but there, you know what? But there are some people that really are wanting a marriage. Like, they want a family. They crave it. But the issue is they don't know how to nurture it in order to get to that point. And it takes work. It honestly takes work. And it takes you going outside of yourself to make sure that somebody's needs are met, just like it takes for the person that you're with to go outside of themselves to make sure that your needs are met. Like, it's vice versa. And I see a lot of people that are being selfish that are not doing that. And it's like, how do you expect to get to marriage that takes dating that person? You still got to date that person within that frame, like that institution, I should say. You have to still date that person, or it's gonna flop. Like, what you think it is? It's a deeper, intimate relationship that requires more of you than ever before. So if you can't master dating and being vulnerable and showing your feelings and emotions and actually taking the time to slow down and get to know a person, it is not gonna work at all. And that is why people be married for 1-2 years and calling it a quits. 1-2 years they cheating. Case in point, I was just having this conversation about the whole Delicious and Raymond Santana, is that his name? Their marriage, and he filed for divorce because he cheated, and they only been married for 2 years. I felt like when they first got married, or when they was engaged, I should say, I felt like he was in love with the idea of being with her. Like, I said that because he said how he was infatuated with her. Like, he really wanted to get to know her, and he decided to be in the space and the place of wherever she was so that he can get her attention. And now, 2 years later, divorce. It's because he fell in love with the fantasy. He didn't value her. He didn't see when that wig come off who she is, with her, hair all over her head and her braids, or, the fact that she gained weight, she got stretch marks, or, she pooped just like everybody else. She, whatever. Like, she's a real human being, a woman with her own wants, needs, flaws, and everything. He didn't see that. And then he goes out here, with these thoughts. And then you divorce your wife because she not the idea of what you thought she was when you got with her. And their relationship was quick, too. What did you say? And so many of us listen to the problems in their marriage and think that's how it's going to be with them. We need to realize yeah, that's the other part. People are looking at relationships that are not working, and they get caught up in the what's not working for somebody versus what could work for them. And I think that if people focus on what they want in a relationship, what they want in a wife, or what they want in a husband outside of money, and being taken care of, like their actual values. Are they a good person? Will they make a good father? Will they make a good husband? You know, are they a liar? Like, do they have a drinking problem? Do they lie all the time? Are they a cheater? Are they a manipulator? Like, these are real questions that you got to ask, because this is the person that you'll wind up attaching yourself to. And you attach yourself to a person that you won't even know. And so you get married, whatever the issues were that you overlooked or buried will be highly visible within that marriage. And now you looking like, who did I get with? That part. You said the problems with celebrities is posting every move. You know what? They didn't, so when I was using the example of Delicious and her, I don't know if they actually divorced. He filed, but I don't know if it's final. So I'm gonna just say her husband, Raymond. I didn't see any posts where she posted every move. Like, when I look at their relationship via what she put out there, I will say in the beginning, they started off with the reality show. I think it was Marriage Boot Camp or something like that they were on, and I could see that there was some things that he needed to fix then. And I felt like, because I saw those things, they was kind of red flags, but she was just like, well, that's how he is, and I just want him to be better. And in my mind, I'm like, if he's like this now, he gonna be like this. But too, I don't think he had time to grow up. Like, once you've been incarcerated, and you were incarcerated as a kid or a teenager, I feel like your mental age is still that age when you're on the other side for a while, until you actually acclimate or allow yourself to mentally grow outside of that. Because you've been in that institution, behind those walls for some time, I feel like, people that go in are still stuck at that kid level, or wherever they were when they went in. So I just feel like he didn't grow up enough to know how to handle something like marriage. I just feel like he wasn't at that place. He thought he was, but he wasn't. He was still for the streets, so, or wanted to be for the streets. What did you say? Some people aren't good with social media. The temptation that are displayed are too much for many. Right, because people are falling in love with the idea. Like, you see images. Social media is nothing but images, videos all day long. That's all you see. You got it on Facebook, you got it on Instagram, you got it on TikTok, you got it on Twitter. There's another social media app, black Facebook or something like that. You got that one. You got YouTube. Let's see. I can keep going, but there are so many apps that keep you glued to visualization stuff, right? Keep you glued to pictures, to images, so you get sucked in, and now you think that that's how things should be, or that's how things should work. And that's not the case. It's not the case. But so back to them, I didn't see her really post anything that was like real negative or anything. For the most part, it was like family pictures and stuff. And then videos where they were actually doing Sunday. I remember when they was doing Sunday prayers and conversations. And I felt like they were really like in a good space then, because they were actually having marriage conversations and dating conversations and actually, you know, talking about their experiences and all these different things. But there's a part I feel like wasn't a piece that was missing, and I felt like he just wasn't mature. Like, he just wasn't mature enough for marriage. And I mean, it'll all come out. Like, it'll come out, so we'll be able to see that part. But I just felt like he was fixated on the idea of how she looked, because when you, prior to her getting married, we know she was on a reality show, you know, doing all of these videos where she's walking, you know, in these dresses, behind shaking, half naked. You're gonna entice and attract a lot of men, and every man that you entice and attract is not for you. And the very one that she allowed in is the one that, unfortunately, he wasn't, you know, adult enough to be in the marriage and actually value the person that she is. So I find that one to be like a prime example of that, just like I was talking about, you know, Mariah Carey. But then you have marriages like Denzel, and nobody even talks about that. Denzel and his wife have been together for over 20 years, right? He's in the industry, and you ain't heard nothing about all of this type of stuff going on with them, but they've been married for 20 some years. Like, that means that he fell in love with the person that she was, and vice versa. And so hello. And so I think that looking, nobody ever looks at them. Like, everybody be talking about Will and Jada. They got dysfunction going on. They whole demo is dysfunction. But like a marriage that's like Denzel and his wife seems more where they value and respect one another. They don't talk about one another in public or anything. Like, you've never heard them badmouth each other or say crazy stuff like the stuff Jada had flying out her mouth because she had having the red table talks. And in my mind, I'm like, your job is to, even though your husband is an individual, your job as a wife is still to protect him, and vice versa. You protect your home. And so I felt like that she just let it rip. Like, nobody needs to know that you was messing with August. Like, that is so messy. Anyway, that's a mess. You said there's so much booty everywhere, and it's not even sexy no more. People degrade themselves for attention. People fall in love with those images, making the heart crave fantasies that are not reality. That is perfectly said. That is so perfectly said. And that is exactly what's going on. So, you said Denzel realized what he will lose, which is someone. Oh, it's something that many don't think about. And that's the other part. His wife don't look like Halle Berry. His wife don't look like Beyonce. His wife don't look like none of these celebrities, these typical celebrities. She looked like a woman with substance. And he literally, he literally has been married to this same woman for 20 something years. Like, she looks like a woman with substance. And so, and then even he has substance. So why aren't the people, and that's the other part, why aren't the people with substance meeting each other? Why is it that the people with substance are meeting people who lack that? That is extremely crazy to me. But it happens to be true. Like, there are a lot of people who do have values, but they're meeting people that don't share the same value system as they do. And then they wind up in long-term relationships with these people, or they wind up like in a marriage with this person, and they're like, they're not the person I fell in love with, but they didn't share the same value system with you, so it wasn't gonna work. You said he got a real one, someone who'll stick with him, even if even get this. I was watching this Steve Harvey interview with Earn Your Leisure, and this Steve Harvey interview where he talked about hitting rock bottom. Basically, his accountant stole money and he winded up owing like millions of dollars in taxes. And you know, when he came upstairs and told his wife Marjorie that what was going on, you know, she asked him what he was gonna do, and she cried for days. Like, she cried for days, he said. And so, but she was the one that spoke life into him. And this is the other part. When I be talking, you know what? I don't say things for the sake of saying them, and then I find videos that actually confirm what I'm saying. I will post a clip of what he said, probably tomorrow when I post this. But I've said that as a woman or a wife in training, there are certain things that you should be doing for, you know, your husband, right? And so she spoke life into him when he didn't think that he had it in him. And there were things that she said to him that made him, you know, get the idea to become or to take business ventures or whatever the case may be, because she was speaking life into him and she was giving him peace. That was like a really big deal to me, because a lot of celebrities don't say stuff like that. And coming from what we know her background is and what we know his background is, they are intentional about their marriage right now. Like, they've been married for a minute now, but to see the level of intentionality, if that's a word, I'm making it up, but whatever. To see the level of them being intentional with one another to make sure that they are both straight, that they are both happy, the different things that they do for one another. They know that their lives are busy, their schedules are busy, and all of these different things, but they actually stop and make time for each other. They actually, she was doing something and he surprised her. Like, she was with her friends or something, and he just popped up after he was out of town, and you know, he knew that she felt like, you know, she missed him and all of this other stuff, and he popped up on her. This was a while ago, but like, I was just like, that was sweet. And that's what's necessary. Like, whatever's necessary to keep the person happy, that's not like super outrageous. Like, you gotta get them a band every day, like that kind of outrageous, or buy these types of shoes. But the stuff that money can't buy, if you do that, I'm pretty sure things will work out. You said too many so-called companions will kick you when you're down. That's because, I'm gonna say this, when people kick their partner when they're down, it's because there's a part of them that's unhealed. There's a part of them that they haven't addressed. And so they know that what they say to that person, like, it'll make that person feel the same feeling that they feel inside, if that makes sense. So if you already got self-esteem issues and you got a partner that don't really have those issues, but they having a moment, like something happened and they're like feeling really insecure about something that they're about to do or whatever the case may be. And so that person goes and says something real slick to make them feel like even more insecure. So then that puts y'all on the same playing field. Some people are unhealed and they do stuff like that. Hello. There are people that are unhealed and should not be in relationships until they heal. Because they're really like toxic, and the words that fly out of their mouths are literally like daggers in somebody's heart. You know what I mean? Like, there are people out here doing that, and then they're damaging more people with those words, with their actions, with their attitude. And then they like, well, somebody did it to me, so, you know, whatever. And it's like, and these are grown but people doing this. It's not even the kids, because I've seen kids that know what they want before grown people. You got kids out here 18, 19 trying to get married, and, you know, they know what they want. And it be 40, 50-year-olds still out here hurt about something that happened 20 years ago. So they out here dating all recklessly and hurting everybody. Like, that's nonsense. It's really nonsense. But it is happening. But people don't realize the power behind their words and the power behind their actions. So when you are saying that you love somebody, love is two things. It is the words, but it's also the action. And a lot of people are not willing to put the action behind the words. They'll say it so quickly, but they don't understand the concept of it being an exchange in action after the words are spoken. You show your love by valuing the person that you're with, by taking the time to get to know them, by taking the time to appreciate them, by showing them, hey, she like flowers, get her flowers. He likes, you know, this new game that just came out, get him the game. You know, she has to leave out super early. And I know, you know, she usually don't put gas in her car, so I'm gonna get up earlier than she does, and I'm gonna go put the gas in the car for her. Stuff like that, you know. Or he works hard, and he doesn't have time to, you know, wash his clothes or dry clean his clothes or whatever, so I'm just gonna do it for him. Then these are husband and wife duties now. I mean, if you decide to do it when you dating, that's your business. But so you wash the clothes, you iron them, or you take them to the dry cleaner, whatever the case may be. But these are things that you do to show the person that you love them with your actions and not just your words. And that is how you show that you value them. Even the spending time. Through spending time, you learn a person, because people change, and that's the other part that people don't understand. Everybody changes all the time. Your wants and needs are not the same from a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. You have different wants and needs. You have different requirements, and it's not going to be the same. So when you are actually spending time with that person, you're having the conversations, you are essentially learning how to do life with them. And that's what people are not taking the time to do. They just want something that's instantaneous. They want a photo op. They want the video. They want to go, you know, want to be Instagram famous. They want to be YouTube famous. You know, all this famous. Go viral so they can get the checks, and not realizing that that's not gonna last like that. Even I was reading not really reading, well, it did have some reading to it, but I was on YouTube, and there was a video about a couple who was YouTube famous. They had like prank videos and all this other stuff. So the person posted the video, but they also had like words underneath, so you kind of read the snippet of what happened. And people were saying like they seemed like the perfect couple and all of these different things. And he killed her. They were together like a couple years, had a kid, and yeah, because he cheated and didn't want her to cheat, so he killed her. You could probably look that up. It might still be up there. I don't know if they took it down or anything, but I found that quite disturbing. And I'm like, people were saying like, oh, they were the perfect couple. I don't understand what happened, because they was too busy chasing a check instead of actually getting to know one another and actually being in a relationship. They was check chasing. And it was a lot of different, like when a girl was going into their backstory, it was a lot of nonsense going on. So, and even how they met, he fell in love with the idea of being with her because she was gorgeous in his eyes. And then to take that same gorgeousness, get with her, and then have a kid with her, and then you treat her as if she's trash, and you cheat and do whatever you do, and then you take her life because you cheated and you don't want her to cheat. What kind of nonsense? I was like, this is some foolishness. So I don't know what's going on in these streets. Like, I just take it when I see it and I read it or I watch the videos, and I'm just like, I want to know what stories do y'all have? Like, what is it that y'all are looking for out here? And then, you know what? I would like to have a live where people actually come on and have talk about who they would like to, who their ideal person would be, and all of those different kinds of things. Like, I want to know what people are really looking at besides income, and then what are their experiences. I actually have a story of a girl who met somebody. She met somebody, I'm gonna just tell you, he was trash. He was so trash. But first off, she was meeting him for the first time. All of her conversations with him was straight garbage because of the stuff that he would say to her. And she was just like, but he really likes me. And I'm looking like, she was a young girl too. She like 19, and she going to meet this dude, and it's like, she never met him. It's 10 o'clock at night, and yeah, her parents didn't know where she was, but she was meeting this dude, and I was just looking like, really? So I talked to her. Now, this was some months back when I decided to join Uberland again, which I'm done. I'm done with that. That ship has sailed and docked. But and as I'm taking her to this house or apartment or whatever, you know, I'm actually hearing a conversation, and she is allowing him to disrespect her, and they have never met. In her mind, though, he looks good enough to allow this. Like, and she never met him. And she went to this Negro's house at 10 o'clock at night. So when she gets off the phone with him, because he wasn't there, he wasn't even there, he was at work. So now she got to stand and wait for him. We not even in a good neighborhood, that's all I'm gonna say. And I had to tell her that because she was from the suburbs and she had no clue what the neighborhood was. And so I did say to her, I said, are you gonna wait here? Like, I said, it's kind of dangerous. So if you need me to wait with you, then I can do that. And she was like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, first I'll go in and make sure you're in the right place. So she goes in, you know, she finds out she's in the right place or whatever. And she's just looking around. And I said, I know that you don't know me. I know that I'm not your mother, you know, but the way that he's talking to you is so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful. And I said, and if he's talking to you like this now, he's going to be whooping your butt later. Like, he was cussing her out. And I'm like, and when she said she met him online, and this is the first time that she's actually seen him, I'm like, girl, please. I said, you are too beautiful for that. There are so many fish in the sea, and you don't have time for this. She was just like, well, you right. And, you know, I think I'll take my chances. And so she sat there and she was like, but I don't like the way he talked to me. And so I said, so why are you taking it? You don't even know this man. You don't owe him no loyalty, no nothing, right? And she's like, well, he threatened to kill me. I'm like, and you still gonna go see him at 10 o'clock at night? I said, you do understand what he's expecting at 10 o'clock at night. She was like, I just came over here to see him. And I said, so you done came all the way over here to see him at 10 o'clock at night. And I said, he's probably expecting you to sleep with him. And she was like, I didn't come over here for that. And so she was just like, no, I don't want to do that. Hello. And so I was just like, how are you coming to visit somebody at 10 o'clock at night that you've never met in person? You met through a dating app. You don't know whether or not they're crazy. They have clearly disrespected you in the first few minutes of the conversation that I've heard. And then you're going over here to meet this person and you gonna spend a night. So she was like, well, you know, I just want to see what you trying to see. In my mind, I just said that, but I ain't say it to her. But I said, so do your parents know where you are? She was like, no, they think I'm at work. I said, well, somebody needs to know where you are before you go in this guy's house, because anything can happen. And she said, yeah, you're right. When I tell you, I had the eeriest feeling with this girl. And I'm like, where are her parents? Nobody has talked to her. Like, this is not the way that you get treated. And you basically going based off of words and some pictures. And the words that he's saying to you is not even nice. And so I'm like, is she following? Like, she's already emotionally involved because she wouldn't even leave. I'm like, when I was her age, you couldn't say nothing crazy to me. I'd be out. But she was just like, no, I'm going to take my chances. Oh, okay. So she winded up going. I prayed for her after I left, because that was hello, that was a lie. Like, you got a 19-year-old girl going out meeting somebody on the internet at 10 o'clock at night, and nobody even knows that she's there except for me, because I at that time I was her Uber driver. So there was nothing else that I could do but pray for her. But she was caught up in whatever the image he sold her about who he was. But listening to the conversation, he was literally verbally abusive, and she only 19 years old. And I'm like, where the heck are her parents? Like, Lord Jesus. Parents of teenagers, talk to your kids, okay? Talk to your kids, because I'm pretty sure she is not the only one doing this. We do not live in a society where you can do this. And, you know, maybe she sees her parents on the dating websites. That's the other part. Kids do what they see you do, not necessarily what you say. So if she's seeing this in her household, maybe mom is dating, you know, on dating websites or whatever, you know, she might be mimicking this because she's seen it being done and thinking that it's okay. But it is so much that goes into that, because there are some creeps, there are some crazies. The world is so different from what it used to be, and people are just, they're not really falling in love with a person for that person. They're falling in love with the idea of somebody. So they see the way that the girl looks, they like, oh, she look good, she looks good enough to basically sleep with, or whatever he gets out of whatever the time is that they spend together. But then after that, what is left? And that's the dating situation that it seems that's happening today, where people are just like not really taking the time to get to know people, and they're dating people based off of how they look, on their pictures, on their videos, and on these dating sites. And then they personality be trash. What is that? But then you wanna get married, and people are saying, I want to get married, but they want to get married to what? It's like, if you marry somebody, don't you want somebody with character? Don't you want somebody with class? Don't you want somebody with some type of moral compass? Not because they cute. I mean, it's a lot of cute, crazy people in the world. It's a lot of handsome, crazy people in the world. If you don't like crazy, then you should be getting to the heart of people versus how they look. Looks are only gets you so far. So this conversation has been a good conversation. Thank you all for interacting, for the comments and letting the conversation flow. I actually am going to work on getting more people on so we can do the live conversations with people's opinions like we did before. And with that is our conversation. I will see you next week. I'm actually going to be on and off of I'm gonna be having videos, I should say, periodically before then. Also, what I was doing, I'm a double back. I was gone off of Instagram for about 90 days or so. And as you can see right here, I have an app called Empower Society for individuals with Down syndrome and their families. It's a directory of resources and services for them. So it's in the Google Play and the App Store. And I did the organization, because it's an organization that I have tied to the app as well. You can go on www.empowersocietyApp.com and you'll be able to see, get the gist of what the organization is about. And so Monday is actually World Down Syndrome Day. And I have been doing, I did a fundraiser because I'm also on the board for the National Association for Down Syndrome. And so they had we did a dance-a-thon last Sunday, the Sunday before last, I think it was last week. The weeks are flying by. But did a dance-a-thon, and I raised over $600 in less than 24 hours, and was able to fund 2 families to be a part of the dance-a-thon. They didn't have to raise any money or anything. They were able to be a part of the dance-a-thon. And they were families that were in need. So I was glad to be a blessing. Right now, though, Empower Society, we are taking donations for families of children with disability, children and adults with, more specifically, Down syndrome, who are in need. So if you feel compelled to donate to that cause, just go on the website. You can, actually click the link in my bio, and it'll link you to the website. And you can donate that way. Or if you would like to donate, like supplies, because right now I'm looking to help fund housing, devices for like school, like tablets and things like that, clothes, stuff like that, and supplies. So those are the things that I am doing right now for my organization. And so if you feel, the need, if you feel compelled to give, then give. If you feel compelled to donate your, different items, then just email me, and I can schedule pickup, or, I can tell you where to ship, whatever it is. Also, we will be having these conversations. There are more conversations to come. And there's just a lot of things that I would like for us to get in depth with. I was supposed to be on YouTube, but my computer was acting a little funny today, a little temperamental. Probably because I've been on it for some hours. So we're going to work on being on YouTube for next week. So go to Crown Convos with Tiana and Nichelle. Subscribe, share this video. And that is our night. I will see you later. Bye.